Welcome to the Accelerate Your Performance podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Janet Pilcher, founder and president of Studer Education. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to tell you about a virtual event that we have coming up on April 14th to 16th called Destination High Performance. This event is a K-12 leadership conference that focuses on building a strong organizational culture and engaging in clear strategy work to drive meaningful, measurable results. It's grounded by our 9 pillars of leadership excellence. So for the next few weeks, as we look forward to our conference, we focus on topics from the 9 pillars that will be discussed in our virtual conference. And one of those topics is exceeding customer expectations, and that's what we're going to talk about today. This conference is about 2.5 hours each day on April 14th, 15th, and 16th. And you'll get a combination of partner presentations, mini master classes, and executive panels. I hope you join us, and if you want to join us, please connect to us at studereducation.com/events. We'd love to have you. So let's move on to our guest today, Dr. Reggie Todd, one of our leader coaches at Studer Education, works with our partners every day to build strong customer service and service excellence practices and organizations. Reggie understands why service excellence is so important, and he knows how to make it work in an organization. Reggie is my guest on today's episode, but before we jump into my conversation with him, let me introduce him to you. Reggie is an educational leader with experience spanning K-12 schools, higher education, and alternative teacher certification. Before joining Studer Education, he enjoyed a career in K-12 and higher education. He began his career teaching high school mathematics, where he also held teacher leader roles. In higher education, Reggie has served as an associate professor, graduate programs coordinator, department chair, and faculty development director, leading educator preparation programs, accreditation efforts, curriculum quality, and faculty development initiatives. As you can see, people count on Reggie when they need something to be led well. He has guided continuous improvement across programs, supported innovative and high-impact teaching practices, and contributed to the profession through organizational leadership, research, and presentations. In alternative certification, Reggie has led online instruction, faculty teams, and curriculum development to ensure candidate success and program quality. And I had a chance to work with Reggie in our Teacher Ready program years ago that came from the University of West Florida, and he was an outstanding leader and mentor. So it's with great pleasure that I welcome Reggie to our show today. It's with great pleasure that I welcome Dr. Reggie Todd to our show today. He's one of our leader coaches. Reggie, so glad to have you with us today.
Yes, I'm glad to be here with you, Jenny.
So we're going to talk a little bit about service excellence, about the work that you do with our partners and the great work that we do here at Studer Education and creating great customer service experiences for people that we work with. So let's start with, why is service excellence important for an organization from your experience, Reggie?
Janet, how we feel when we experience an organization is important because it determines how we continue to engage with this organization and, most importantly, how we speak about this organization to others in our communities and our friend groups. Service excellence is critical because it directly shapes the experiences people have with an organization. When service is intentional and consistent, it builds trust, it strengthens relationships, and it reinforces the organization's overall purpose. In education, especially, service excellence influences how employees feel about their work environment and how students experience the institution and experience learning. Organizations that prioritize service excellence tend to see stronger engagement, higher retention rates among students and employees, and overall a culture where people feel valued and consistently supported.
Yeah, so good, Reggie. And, when you were talking, a couple of things. One is we get better outcomes, like with our, when we're focusing on students and focusing on what we're trying to accomplish, when we're providing that customer service experience and with a 10 out of 10 experience, we see that organizations that do that get those better outcomes. So, really like what you said there in regard to it. It may be indirect, but it feels more like a direct effect on student outcomes. And it just builds a great workplace environment where people show up every day and they're connecting with each other and really building that best place work, the workplace experience where people just really like to show up to go to work every day because they're feeling that experience. So it's that feeling too, don't you think, Reggie?
Yes, 100%. I remember being told many years ago that a employee's work environment, when we're talking about educational institutions and organizations, an employee's work environment, whether it's staff or faculty, is also our students' learning environment.
Hmm.
So if we want that students' learning environment to be strong and impactful, then we have to make sure that the work environment is great for our employees. And that's
Yes.
how we do it with service excellence.
Yeah, so good. So good. And so, although it seems like a heavy lift, there's some pretty effective, easy, so to speak, tactics for implementing service excellence. So can you share a few of those that you apply with our partners, Reggie?
Yeah, I would say implementing service excellence requires both clear expectations and consistent reinforcement. Some effective tactics include defining service excellence so employees understand what great service looks like, incorporating service behaviors into hiring and onboarding processes, and recognizing individuals who model the organization's service commitments. Regular training and coaching conversations also help reinforce those service expectations. And then lastly, organizations that actively gather feedback from employees and those they serve, and then actually use that feedback. We can't just get the feedback and gather the feedback. We have to use the feedback to improve the processes. They're more than often more successful at sustaining service excellence.
Yeah, so good. And that it's what we say, feedback is a gift. So, as we're listening to what's working and what's not working, it's as you're talking about celebrating those areas that we're working and scale those and really looking at those areas for improvement and acting on those and building those improvements. And when we have that service mindset, Reggie, we're really constantly focused on improvement because we can always get better at the way we serve people.
Yes, I agree, Jenny.
So let's talk about the work with your partners. You are working with partners throughout the country and you've worked with them living some of the practices of exemplary service excellence. Can you talk a little bit maybe about some of that work that you're doing?
Yeah, one of the things that stands out about some of our strongest partner organizations is how intentionally they connect service excellence to their mission and daily practices. One partner organization comes to mind, and that's Nunez Community College.
Hmm.
I had the pleasure of assisting them in the development of standards of service excellence. Not just standards of excellence or core values, but specifically standards of service excellence. They use these standards to help identify the way they commit to working with their students, to working with each other, and working with their community. In terms of service excellence implementation with Nunez, this partner engaged in a train the trainer model, where they've selected about 20 faculty and staff to be trained in service excellence by yours truly. And now these employees are facilitating service excellence training for the rest of the institution. I just have to mention one other partner, Vicksburg Warren School District. Their leaders consistently reinforce service standards in their meetings. They recognize employees who will go above and beyond for students and other colleagues, and they review feedback from the district support services survey. Because their leaders are modeling these behaviors and make service a visible priority, employees understand that service excellence is not just a slogan, but it's the daily expectation there. Over time, this consistency has helped them create a culture where employees genuinely care about the experiences of students and each other.
Yeah, such good examples. And I have a little bit of my heart connected to Nunez Community College based on the work that I do with them and such a great story about a school district. It's core to our work. They're the two pillars, pillar 5 that focuses on people and pillar 6 with service. Those are just so core to what we do. I call them the heartbeat of our work. Sometimes people don't necessarily come to us and say, help us improve customer service, right? I mean, that's not what, but when we really get down to the work of building a good place where people show up and they're doing the right things for each other and those that they serve, service is at the centerpiece of that. And once we start focusing on that work, like what you're talking about with the two organizations that you referred to, they really get it, I think, Reggie. Don't you think when you're teaching? I mean, don't you think they process that really deeply?
They do. And I think one thing that really is an aha moment for our partners is when we talk, we all understand in the field of education that our customers are our students. But when we talk about our customers being each other and other employees, and how I respond to my colleagues and how they respond to me, and how my department or my division services the organization, that's a real aha moment for them. It's always, oh, I provide great service to our students and to our parents, but I never thought about the service that I provide to the principal and when I'm a district representative, or that just a colleague to colleague.
Yes.
That's always an aha moment for
Yes.
our partners. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it builds that well-rounded organization. So such important work that you're doing in multiple areas, but again, service as one of the heartbeats of our work. I appreciate what you do with our partners there, Reggie. So as we close today, if you would answer this question, what's the best advice you could offer a leader who wants to improve service excellence practice? What's your advice to them?
Hmm. The most important advice I would offer is to start with leader consistency. As we say in student education, leaders go first. So service excellence becomes part of a culture when leaders model the behaviors they expect to see and they reinforce those behaviors regularly. Leaders should clearly communicate what great service looks like. They should recognize it when it happens and address gaps when the expectations are not met. Just as importantly, leaders should listen to employees so they can help remove the barriers that make it difficult for them to deliver the great service that we desire. Because when leaders consistently communicate, recognize, and support service behaviors, service excellence become embedded in how organizations operate.
I love it, Reggie. What gets recognized gets repeated, right? And
Yeah,
so just the core of love what you just said. And I think it is leaders go first. Leaders go first to model, and leaders go first to basically reinforce the good work that's going on when people are exhibiting service excellence. So well said there. Thank you, Reggie, for your time today. I love connecting with our coaches in the field and hearing your stories and the work of our partners. So thank you so much for being with us today.
awesome. Thank you for having me.
Customer service is so much more than doing work and making customers happy. It's about making people feel like they matter. It's about making them feel like they need you to be part of their work with them. And it's about engaging with people in ways that are positive and productive. So it's easy to see why service excellence is crucial to the success of an organization. In education, our customers are not limited to students. Customers include families, the community, and one another as colleagues and coworkers. In this sense, service excellence is about creating a space where everyone feels like they make a difference. And when we give 10 out of 10 service to everyone, students thrive and outcomes are met. Thank you, Reggie, for doing this important work alongside our partners. And thank you to each of you for doing this important work in our schools, districts, communities, and educational institutions. You make a difference. As you move through this week, focus on making every encounter you have a 10 out of 10 experience for others. As you do, you will see and feel a difference. Have a great week, everyone.